Well, I've been writing about issues like global warming since the 1980s, which makes me one of the graybeards. There are some gray hairs. And I had this expectation, and it's one that many scientists have, that if you just put out the information effectively, people will respond and change their behavior. And then, so that's like 25 years of that. And I thought, okay. And then I become middle-aged. And then I stumbled into all this social and behavioral science, looking at the same thing. And here's this whole body of science and scientists who said, no, people don't absorb information. They have filters. They look at it or reject it. They absorb it or reject it based on predispositions. That information, the idea that there's an information deficit, that if you fill it, it will change the world, is fantasy. So that led me, well, among other things, away from full-time journalism, because I thought, again, in midlife, well, should I spend the next 25 years doing what I've done the last 25? And just that. And once I was aware, A, of all the different ways to share and shape information that are not journalism, B, becoming aware of all this social science showing you that the other end of the pipeline matters a lot, understanding the human brain and how societies and individuals absorb or knowledge. If I didn't learn more about that, then I was just going to be hitting my head against the wall for the rest of my life. And so my title at Pace University, it's no accident, is Senior Fellow for Environmental Understanding. I invented the title, which was kind of fun, because I want to study the whole pipeline and experiment with ways to understand how information can be more engaging. And not in the sense of bamboozling people, but just opening up more of an opportunity for people to really step back and see big patterns, that kind of thing. If the message is delivered to society in a kind of a woe is me, shame on you way, which has been that was the 20th century tradition of the environmental movement, was woe is me, shame on you, meaning Exxon or somebody else. And I don't think that works very well, because you think about, again, go back to the model of the teenager. They tend not to absorb readily messages that are finger pointy. And if you lead them to knowledge and facilitate access to knowledge, I think you can start to build a better outcome through a transition like that. It's easy to overuse that kind of analogy, but I think one reason I'm a communicator, and I love what I see with the ability of the internet and other social media tools to facilitate more awareness, more empathy, global. In other words, kids, my son lives on, my 15-year-old lives on Reddit, which is Reddit, which is a sort of a news sharing pipeline. And he's seeing stuff about South Sudan that when I was his age, I never would have been exposed to, because I grew up in New England, just sort of, learning from books and reading the local newspaper, which might once in a while have a story about the Middle East or something. But now, if material is sort of developed in a way that's interesting, engaging, using visualizations for data and not just numbers, you can reach you can sort of spill awareness out amazing, and connectivity, sharing and shaping of knowledge has never been easier. So I think that's, given that to me we're sort of in a race between self-awareness and our potency, I think that shows me there's some pretty bright signs for progress ahead.